Okay, that's Bernie's tail. He's very excited. I'll be right back. Hey everyone, Renee here with Jade Penguin Jewelry. Today I'm doing another upcycling video, and welcome to my channel if this is your first time watching. I am doing a voiceover in this video because both of my dogs were in the room with me a lot, and a lot of things didn't go quite according to the plan audio-wise. But today we're going to make a pair of boho earrings, which are fairly easy to use broken jewelry for because it can kind of match any style you want with any colors that you have available. So I picked a couple things out of an old Goodwill box. I have pliers with me, my bead board, which you can get from pretty much any craft store, and here's a necklace that has a bunch of chains in it. At first, I thought I was going to go with a white gold diamond kind of theme on the earrings, but as this video progresses, you can see that I changed my mind and I end up using a lot of the beads off of this broken necklace here. The strands are shot and it's tangled up and it comes with a bunch of bonus hair in it. So I end up not using the gold and silver and white colors that I'm pointing out and was thinking about using at the time of shooting this video. I have this fake leather braided thing that I believe came off a bracelet. I'm not sure. One end is completely missing. And I'm going to use it as kind of like a little drop down or dangly bit for the earrings that we end up finishing in this video. I do have some more of those end clamps that I can put on, and this is a stretch bracelet that's also completely shot and held together with rubber bands at the end. It's bamboo, wood, and plastic beads. I just thought it might look good with the blues and greens and some other colors we have going on. So some of the things I gathered for this were glass beads, some head pins. I got some spearhead pins from Creating Uncommon on Etsy, regular head pins, some ribbon clamps for the end of the leather strap that we're going to use, some chain, and some ear wires and additional head pins if we needed it. I also have a thing of mixed beads that don't really fit in any of the containers that I like to store my beads in, so I'm showing you that here. I also got this broken necklace that I thought I was going to get beads off of, but I ended up not using this either. I just gathered it because I thought it might work. Going over the leather strap again here, and I'm going to go ahead and switch my stuff over to my wooden board from a previous video. I'm using silver ear wires and I'm grabbing them out of the bag here. Okay, so I've moved everything over to the wooden board that I got from the thrift store. I have my one-step looper and my needle nose pliers that I just moved up. Here I'm going over that we're going to do a multi-strand dangle kind of boho earring. And I'm cutting the cord on the bamboo bracelet, and it's going to get a little bit messy as I pull the beads I want to use off the strings. The plastic beads I end up not using off of this bracelet because it was too light for what I ended up going with. But the bamboo I did use. I liked using the little designs that are on the bamboo beads. Here I'm going to try to show you one of the beads. It's not going to quite focus for you. I did try different camera settings and the mic wasn't, I don't know if I didn't have it plugged in right or if there's just too much interference going on. That's why I'm also doing this voiceover. And I'm laying out the bamboo beads and grabbing one of those spear head pins that I got from Creating Uncommon on Etsy. I'm grabbing different colors now here. I'm going to pop up the name for the Etsy shop. I did get these a couple years ago, and at the time of filming, I didn't see if the Etsy store is still active, but they are called spear head pins, and hopefully you can find them if you want to use them sometime online. It's just a little spear head instead of the tiny little dot that's normally at the end of head pins. I'm going to choose to use these for all of the dangle bits that I end up putting beads on. And I decided I'm going to go with a wooden bead at the bottom of the bamboo beads because I don't like the way that the bamboo sits into their spearhead. And I'm going to use this pre-cut piece of leather and get a second piece of leather to balance out the earrings. So I'm using the end of that fake leather bracelet that already has the ribbon clamp on it, and I took the jump ring off, and I'm going to line it up with this piece of leather scrap that has the same type of ending to it and give it a trim. So now that I have two pieces of even fake leather but different styles, I'm going to lay those next to the bamboo beads on my felt board and see how it's going. Next, I'm going to start collecting the beads off of this necklace. I don't realize how hard the wire is, and I try to cut it with my little scissors first, and it doesn't work. So then I grab some wire cutters. Nope, I go back in for it again, apparently. Yep, okay, giving up. Here we go, wire cutters. This is going to pop all over my board. It did take me about 20 minutes the next day to find and locate and get the rest of the beads off this necklace, the ones I end up not using, and separate them out by color. It does take me a moment to get some of the beads cleared out of the way. And in this video, I do point out how to open jump rings appropriately. You can watch any of my previous crafting videos to see how to open jump rings. I go over it quite a bit because it is one of the easiest things that breaks on jewelry and causes people to donate it. And really simply, it just needs a jump ring. So here I am. I'm adding 2 round teal beads to the bottom of those bamboo beads from the previous necklace and adding a green bead on top from the current necklace we're repurposing. I am going to zoom in here so you can get a close-up of what the earrings are looking like. So far we just have the 2 leather strips, the spearhead pins, and the bamboo beads. Here I'm thinking about adding the gold and silver, and I ultimately decide no, I don't want to do that. So I have this multicolored chain. It's a treated metal to give it that rainbow look. And I'm going to zoom back out just a little bit further. I was showing you the paper clip or the safety pin that's at the end of my chain. It helps me keep the chain on the spool, and I can just unhook it from the last link on the chain, cut what I want, put the safety pin back on, and it helps just keep the chain tidy if you don't have one of the rubber bands that goes around the chain or not. Here I am kind of eyeballing how much chain I want to use. I end up going with about 2 inches. The whole sections that I use for these earrings are about 2 inches in length. The head pins, the chain, the leather I trimmed. So that's the general size that I go with. You can make staggered sizes. When you do boho earrings, you can choose long chains or whatever you want to clip. And it doesn't even have to be new chain. It could be a third necklace that just has a weird bit of chain on it. So I'm laying that next to it. I'm not going to add anything until I get the jump rings out and I can get a better idea of what I have going on. A quick pop back out to the full frame. I'm struggling to pick up the spearheads here that I want to use. And I decided that I'm going to cut another strand off of this necklace because the beads were so random that just the one strand didn't have enough of the same beads for me to make 2 sets of head pins for the earrings. So I'm going to just pull the strands out and make a little bit of a mess. And I'm kind of trying to keep it on the board, but they go everywhere anyways. And pick up this head pin And I'm just kind of picking through the colors, getting some of the seed beads out of the way. I'm looking for a seed bead to put at the end of the head pin, because if you use beads that have a little bit bigger opening and the head of your head pin is too small, adding a little seed bead to it will help larger beads from sliding off the bottom of your head pin and essentially losing beads or ruining your project. So I put a little seed bead, and now I'm just kind of grabbing blues and greens that I liked and a couple of the brown beads off this necklace to add a little bit more color, because currently we just have brown on brown with the leather and the bamboo bead. So I'm trying to pick beads and be careful of the end of the head pin where I need to leave room for my one-step looper tool to make the loop at the end of the bead. That should be enough room. It's about, I want to say, a quarter to half an inch. And I'm going to put it in the one-step looper tool, which cuts it, loops it all at the same time. So if you don't have round nose pliers or small needle nose pliers, you don't have to get those. You can also do this with those. So it's either or both on the tools. I like the one-step looper tool. I enjoy using it. Again, if it's the first time watching my video, it's in a lot of my other videos. Besides my standard needle nose and wire cutters and my round nose pliers, I probably use that one-step looper tool a lot when I make jewelry. It's just easy and convenient. And I'm trying to match this head pin with the previous head pin to kind of make it look somewhat similar. Because this is broken jewelry that's been pre-owned, I'm trying to avoid beads that look like maybe the color has worn off on the outside because they were flashed and they're not all the way through on their coloring. So that's why I kind of look like I'm picking and choosing. I'm trying to make sure that I have the better beads off of the necklace, and I'll get rid of the ones that do have paint loss or chipping, because it's really not worth the effort to make something and then have the beads fall apart because they're dirty. So those are my round nose pliers there. The one-step looper didn't completely close the loop at the end of the head pin, so I was closing it up so when I use the jump rings, it doesn't fall off the jump rings. I'm currently reaching off camera to grab out the jump rings that I want to use. I've reorganized my jump rings into these little tic-tac-like containers from the original containers that they come in. I find it easier to see what I have and the size differences because I had multiple manufacturers for jump rings. Here I am using my opener, and I go over again. Opening jump rings like a bag of chips will be easier to get the circle shape back in the jump ring. Pulling it apart and making a large C and then trying to push the ends together end up being more difficult to get that circle shape back to the jump ring. So if you open and close it like a bag of chips, it's easier, and it's a tighter seal on the jump ring than it would be to just pull it apart, put stuff on, and push it back together. Here I am tightening the ends of my head pins with my tools to make sure that they, once again, don't come off the jump ring when I put them on. And I find it easier to open the jump ring that way and hold the jump ring with a pair of pliers as I put stuff on. It's easier, especially when you're trying to get the jump ring into the link on a chain. It's a little bit easier than trying to hold both ends with your fingers, because then your fingers, your nails, whatever, get in the way. And I'm just assembly line putting the head pins onto the jump ring now. And close it back up the opposite way to seal that jump ring. And there we go. Our first earring is done. And I'm going to go ahead and open this second jump ring. And I'm going to show you that you could use, I'm trying to zoom in for you. That's what I'm doing right now. It doesn't work. Again, the opening the bag of chip method versus the pull apart and hope to get it back together method. I do believe I grab a second pair of pliers and show you that it can be done with 2 pairs of pliers. And if the jump ring is a soft metal, you can do it with your nails as well. I've destroyed my nails for years not using tools to open jump rings. And if you're just doing a quick little jewelry repair, like it's just missing that one ring, Walmart and some craft stores have a jewelry repair kit that has a very tiny little pair of pliers in it. And it's like $5 and it comes with jump rings and ear wires and things like that. And it's usually in their jewelry section. So if you're traveling, jewelry breaks that you're planning to wear for like a wedding, it's $5 and you can usually repair jewelry very quickly that way. That way you don't have to look for another set or anything like that. Okay, here I am. I'm finally reaching for my second pair of pliers to show you how to open it. So I'm pushing the 2 ends together and bag of chips, bag of chips, and then I'm going to grab this jump ring that's already kind of messed up and show you how not to open it. And I'm going to wreck it and pull it apart here in a second. Yeah, see, it looks kind of like a C shape. And that C shape is very hard to get back to being round. You're always going to kind of have like this weird flat misaligned area. And now it's warped. It also kind of curves in the other direction. So beating that jump ring horse and explaining it to you guys again and calling myself out in both versions of the video of how many times I've gone over jump rings. But it is one of the main reasons why jewelry is broken that I see in Goodwill boxes. And there we go. It kind of focused in for a little bit. We have some sea-colored boho earrings. I appreciate you guys hanging out until the end of this video. It was a struggle from audio to video to voiceover and everything in between. But all that was a bracelet, a broken necklace, and some new ear wires and time and tools. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. If you have any themes or styles that you would like me to upcycle or redo in another video, leave those down below too, because I have tons of jewelry and I would be happy to try to meet a challenge you set forward for me. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I will see you.